welcome to Open for Business, CEO Style. This is the podcast where we fling open the doors to the world of business, doing it the CEO way. That means we're here for the women who hustle, the dreamers who build, and the leaders who are ready to rewrite the rule book. I'm your host, Toby Ferrel, and I am the owner and CEO of Toby, Ferrel and Associates. And I'm here to be your guide, cheerleader, and your business bestie. So grab your coffee, your laptop, or your favorite pair of power sneakers, because in this corner of the internet, we're getting open for business, CEO style. And hello, welcome to another edition of Open for Business, CEO style. I am here on location, believe it or not, on location here in Fort Myers, Florida, with my business bestie and soon to be your business bestie, MCipressy. I'm your host, Toby Ferrel, the CEO of Toby, Ferrel and Associates, helping you build a profitable business that you love. So, welcome, Marianne, back to the show.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to doing another podcast with you. The last one was so much fun, and hopefully everybody found it informative.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to love this one too.
Absolutely they will, because if not,
oh well.
Oh well. Let them, as that new book says, by Mel Robbins. Let them.
Let them whatever.
Let them whatever, because it has no effect on me.
There you go.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Like we heard today in a meeting, we had gone to a meeting earlier today. Don't take it personally.
It's not personal.
No, it's not. Okay. And as they say in The Godfather, it's not personal, it's just business.
It's just business.
Godfather was on this morning.
It's a good movie. It's a good motto to live by.
Yes, it is.
It's a good motto to live by. So we are here talking about social media, marketing, and really what is happening right now in the social media world. I mean, TikTok is here, it's gone, it's here, it's gone, it's coming, it's not, who knows what's happening with it. Mark Zuckerberg, if I can just say this in my own opinion, has lost his effing mind.
They all have, so it's okay.
In the sense that his company is no longer going to filter out the untruth or, something to that effect. And I'm like, what has this world come to?
So I have my own personal opinion on all of that.
Please share.
Because I just did a talk before a group of business women about all the different apps and the pros and the cons and the uglies about it. Mm-hmm. And the uglies about all social media is misinformation.
Right.
However, what you think is misinformation and what I think is misinformation may be two entirely different things. And therein lies the problem.
Right.
Because it's really opinion being said that it's a fact.
Right.
But really it's just an opinion.
It's an opinion.
So if you look at it as this misinformation is people's opinions and that it's not fact, it puts a different spin on it.
Yes.
So that's how I look at it.
Okay.
And your opinion may hold more weight than a person's opinion over here.
Right.
Depending on your mindset.
Right.
So that's kind of the perspective I come from at it. Mm-hmm. That way you don't get caught up in the emotions of it all.
Yes.
Because we tend to like drama.
Yes. We love drama.
So there's a lot of people who love drama.
Yes.
So as a business owner, though, you cannot afford to get caught up in drama.
No drama in business.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So that's how I look at it.
Okay, I like that example.
Yes, thank you.
Because I was thinking of it as like, okay, so if a news station posted that we're at war when we're not, who's to say? That's misinformation. But still, there's a lot there. Listen, we all know in social media, when you're scrolling and strolling and scrolling and whatever, there's a lot of ads, there's a lot of bait and click. You have to do your due diligence before
Absolutely.
You buy anything, but there's so much more of that out there. I see so much less in my feed and so much more ads in my feed.
And, it's funny because I'm from the north, you're from the north, we're both from the northeast. Bless their heart is not something that we say, but now that we live in Florida, I feel compelled to say, bless their heart. When I see my friends or Facebook friends post things like, it worked, I reset, and now I see all my friends. I'm calling bullshit. It doesn't work. And I feel like I want to say to my friend, bless your heart, please take that down.
But sometimes I do.
Yeah, I'm like, please stop. Or I give Facebook no permission to post my photos. Well, then don't post your photos.
That got started way back in the day when they would put the profile picture, of somebody, and they still do, but it's much smaller than it used to be.
Yeah.
So that's how that all got started. Mm-hmm. People didn't like Facebook using your picture to tell me that you liked something.
Yeah.
That's where they got all paranoid about it.
Right.
But really all they were trying to do is what they call forgot the word.
It's okay.
But it's giving authenticity and value that your friends like something, so you probably will
like it too. Right.
Yes, and I'm sorry I forget what that's called.
It's all good. But we're getting a little. I've brought us off course because that's me, squirrel. As you know, if you listen to my show, you know that about me.
But this is important stuff.
But it's important stuff too, because we have to get through the mud, right?
Yes.
We have to get through the mud of what's out there, because as business owners, we have to figure out how to get our content through the mud, right? Because we want our content to be seen. We want our content to be engaged with and shared and what have you. So we're going to talk about, Marianne's going to do most of the talking today. I love it. Love it.
Pardon me while I have some coffee.
Yeah, please. Fuel up on coffee. We've already been to breakfast and had lots of coffee there. This is my coffee. It is Coca-Cola. Some people call it Pepsi. I don't know what brand it is, but it is a cola full-leaded based drink. I do not drink coffee. She, on the other hand, drinks coffee.
I have a whole wall of homage to coffee.
See? Yeah. And I will tell you this. If you pop open my veins, full-leaded Coca-Cola product will come out of my veins. If you open up her veins, full-leaded coffee will come out. So this is how we roll.
Yes.
Okay. So, but really the premise is, and there I go squirrel again, but this is fun, right? We like to have fun. I love to have fun. If I'm not having fun, I don't want to do it. But we're really going to talk about today is how to get as business owners, how to get your stuff through the mud, because the future of social media is changing. The algorithms we already know are constantly changing, but what things do you need to do now in order to be ready for whatever changes come, right? Because who's to say that any and all social media is here to stay, or something new comes around, or there's going to be new sanctions? Who the heck knows what social media is going to do? And one thing that Marianne's going to talk about is we don't own our own social media. We don't. You could be put into Facebook jail anytime for any reason. And so now what do you do, right? So she's going to talk about some strategies, some important things for us to do, and I'll just let you take control. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
All right, perfect.
That sounds good. So the TikTok incident where it got shut down made a lot of influencers who are using TikTok kind of panic, because that's where their income came from.
Right.
That was their job.
Yep.
That, being an influencer, to me, is not a business. It really is not. It's a money-making.
It's a money-making business.
But it is not a business, because YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Reels, it can go away at any time.
Right. And
you have no backup. You have no way to contact those people. They can't follow you unless you have something else set up.
Right.
So I saw a lot of them emphasize Reels more.
Okay.
Try to get their TikTokers onto Reels, but that people are loyal to certain platforms.
Yes,
you know?
they are.
Trying to shift them over to YouTube, and that was another shift that was hard for them to happen. So they were trying to get the message out before it got shut down, where else to find them.
Right.
So my question is, why did you wait?
Right.
You should have been doing that all along.
All along.
Even though you were doing it all along on those other platforms, you weren't telling anybody.
You weren't telling anybody.
So there are some that may come across you on TikTok because I just happen to do that, but they're on Instagram more.
Right.
So you want to let people know where to find you on all those platforms. Chances of them all going away at once?
Nah.
But still.
Right.
So that's the first thing you can do, is make people aware of where you're at.
Right.
The second thing you got to do is not put all your eggs into one basket. So because you do not own your social media, you need to use it so that you have a way of capturing who those people are, so that they get into your contacts.
Yes.
Because there are two things that you do know. Your website and your email list.
Absolutely.
That you do own.
Right.
Now, if you're a brick and mortar who doesn't necessarily need to do email, you're going to want to use social media to get them into the stores.
Right.
And then maybe have a loyalty program.
Right.
Something that keeps you in contact with them.
Right.
And because a lot of like restaurants have their own little thing going.
Yes.
That keeps in contact. I think Open Table's
Well,
one
I
of them and
think
stuff.
I think email is important for every business, whether you're brick and mortar or you're virtual.
Yes, but there's some that don't want to get into the email. So I'm giving an alternative if you don't want to get into it. Then we'll get into the email.
Yeah.
Okay? I personally think you need to be doing email.
You need to be doing email.
Yes. On some
and for
level.
those non-email believers, this is for you.
Yes. Because some of the objections to doing email is nobody reads it.
Right.
Well, that's not true.
Correct.
Because most of my clients, they get anywhere between 40 to 70% open rate.
Yep.
So, and a lot of them don't have links to click because they're not selling.
Sure.
They're more educating kind of things. They're more service-based than brick and mortar. But that's still a pretty, any of those, anywhere between there is a pretty
Anything
good.
over above 45% is a great open rate.
Actually, 20%.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Nice.
20%. I'm happy with 40 and above.
Yeah.
You know, I try to, but it all starts with a really good list.
Yes.
So, and there's a lot of tactics to building lists, and there's a lot of tactics to getting people on lists. They buy them, and we are all victims of that.
Yes, we are.
And so think about your own perception of when a email pops up that you didn't sign up for. Unless it's really pertinent, you're going to scroll by it, and when you're tired of seeing it, you're going to unsubscribe.
Right.
And I've done a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
Is unsubscribe, because even though I didn't sign up for it, maybe you think it's interesting, you know what I mean? But it isn't.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're paying for this and it may not, and sometimes it's not even good emails.
Yeah, right.
So I'm never an advocate that you buy a list.
No, never buy a list.
Grow it organically.
Right.
And that's what my clients do, and that's why they get a good open rate. You can use social media to run ads to grow your email list. Through with, lead magnets. We've all heard of lead magnets. Lead magnets. I just saw an ad recently where somebody was growing their Facebook group through ads, which I had not seen before.
Yeah.
Which is interesting kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm an advocate of lead magnets.
Lead magnets.
Yeah.
Absolutely lead magnets. And you know what? If you have the money to buy an email list, then buy advertising instead, because you'll get more accurate emails, and you get more accurate people who fit your product and service to sign up for your email list.
So the key,
it's a better investment.
The key to Facebook ads is you've got to make sure your demographics are set right. Because I know some people that were doing it, and they were getting a lot of robot things. Bot things, because they hadn't set up their parameters.
Okay.
Accurately. They just left it wide open to whatever.
Right.
So Facebook, when you do something like that, they're just going to send the ad to anybody that they think might remotely be interested.
Right.
And you want them a little warmer.
Yep.
A little warmer than that.
They have to pass the mirror test, people.
Can you see? Got to go more than that. So I saw one lately that said, you need to go broad if you're in the beginning. And that's true to a point. If you're like a local business, you want to go broad within your local demographic. However, if you're a person whose business can be anywhere, you don't want to go broad.
Right.
If you are selling jewelry, you don't want to just go to any woman between 18 and 65 plus throughout the United States.
Right.
You're not going to get anybody warm.
No, right. Right.
You have to kind of break it down. And there's nothing to say you can't break your ads up into age groups either.
Right.
Because when you think about it, you want to have a different ad if you're selling to all age groups.
Yes.
Your ads need to resonate with the 20-some-odd-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
You got to use different words and different images than the older
Yes.
demographic.
Yeah.
So the idea behind the strategy of all this is to have a lead magnet of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
or some way to get them into your business so that you do get their emails, if
Yes.
you want to do it that way,
Yes.
so that you can continue to market to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you lose your access to your social media, you still have direct access to potential clients, current
Right.
customers,
Right.
anybody on your rewards program.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're on Facebook with the ads, and you think about your own clicking on ads, if you do,
Mm-hmm.
usually they're downloading something, clicking something, getting a discount.
Sure.
There's an action based to
Yes.
the ads.
Yes.
So you want to remember to do that.
You're giving something to get
Get
something, right? Like, so I haven't done paid ads yet, but for my lead magnet, I have my free download. I'm going to give you my template on, how to stop quitting on your goals for free in
Right.
exchange for your name and email address, and now I have you on my list. And that is a great lead magnet for me because I have grown my list fairly well off of that. So, and those are people who wanted the topic. It's a topic that I coach on, and so it matches the demographic of my target market of who I'm looking to reach.
Right. And to run ads, you need nowadays, unfortunately, a decent sized budget. It's cheaper than Google
Mm-hmm.
to run ads on Facebook, and you have a lot more flexibility.
Okay.
So it just depends on your business whether you do SEO or Google Ads.
Uh-huh.
If you're going to do Google Ads or SEO, it's a really good idea to hire an expert.
Right.
Facebook ads you can learn yourself, but even then, really learn it before you launch a huge budget.
Right.
Because there's so many variables to
Mhm.
make it work that if you don't know why you want to use certain variables over others,
Mhm.
you're going to spend a lot of money
Yep.
and not get the results that you want.
Right.
But the key to the ads and the SEO and the pay-per-clicks is one thing and one thing only, and that is consistently running ads.
Right.
You cannot run an ad one day for 3 days and think you're going to get the results that you want.
Okay.
You got to run it consistently,
Okay.
at least 30 days.
At least 30 days.
Yes,
Okay.
at least 30 days. You want to test it in the beginning, so maybe just do it 2 weeks,
Okay.
because it takes 7 days for the algorithm to really start kicking in
Okay.
as to who it's best to send it to.
Okay.
So even if you're going to do A/B testing,
Uh-huh.
they recommend 7 to 14 days.
Okay.
And they'll start tracking, takes them about 7 days to start tracking the results. When I worked with the meta person on the A/B testing, they wanted a budget of $900.
Oh boy.
I said, no, that's not going to happen.
No.
Because it's a small demographic. If
Right.
you're gonna have a budget of $900, you can go quite far with that.
Yes.
This was a local business.
Right.
That had a 10-mile radius around the business.
Sure.
Not
sure.
going to spend $900. You don't need to spend $900.
You don't need to spend $900. So that leads me to a question. So, because my clientele are mostly startups who are bootstrapping with no cash, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have massive startup funds or any startup funds. They're self-funding, right? Paycheck to paycheck. So even if they had $50 to $75 a month to spend on Facebook ads, it's at least worth it to try and grow. You're not going to get thousands, but you might get tens, right? I mean, could that be a strategy for them?
It could. It just depends on what the ad is for.
Okay.
Okay. So there's the boost option
Mm-hmm.
on there, and then there's the ad manager.
Right.
So you get better results with the ad manager than boost. So I'm going to be
Than
honest,
Boost.
I have a local business that, believe it or not, boosting the ads work really well for it.
Okay.
Because they do have an option to drive traffic
Oh.
to their website.
Okay.
And because it's a restaurant,
Right.
it's, restaurants
That's
are
what you want.
reviews and food.
Right.
That's really what it
Right.
That's really what
Right.
it is for a
Really,
restaurant.
right.
So
Reviews,
if you're a
food, and
restaurateur,
specials, yeah.
yes, it's your food
Mhm.
and it's your reviews and if you have specials. That's pretty much what will
Right.
work for you, because it's all about good service. So the
Right.
reviews talk about the food and the service, and then the pictures kind of sell the food
Right.
themselves, so you want really good pictures. But anyway, giving an insider tip there for the rest
No,
of
thank you.
yours.
That's a great. There's your golden nugget.
There you
Don't
go.
Boost.
There's a time and a place for it, though.
Okay.
So if you got a lower budget, that might work better.
Okay.
That was the point.
What's the difference?
The way the ads are set up, you have more variables and flexibility on the ad manager.
Okay, so you have more. I'm sorry. So you have more control on the demographics, the location,
Okay,
the
so I'll
target
give you
audience. Okay.
You got all that, but they also have that you can create multiple versions of the copy in your ad.
Okay.
Say you have an age group of 35, 30 on up.
Yep.
So because you can have multiple pictures, multiple versions of the copy, multiple versions of the headlines that go with it, and then they will give you AI options based on that. So you can have this plethora of options so that as the algorithm works, it pays attention to which ones people are interacting with most, and that's the one they start sending more.
So this is in the ad manager.
This is in the ad manager.
Not the boost.
Not the boost.
Okay.
The boost will give you a little bit of some options. You can add several pictures, but it doesn't give you a whole lot. It doesn't give you all that flexibility.
Sure.
But if you have a smaller budget, then boosting might work.
Okay.
So say you're trying to, because you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
And you have a great blog, and always on the bottom end of your blog you should have a call to action and something for people to sign up for. I'm a big believer in that.
Yes.
So you would run your ads to that blog. You got a small budget. You might get 1 or 2 more people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you want to make sure you run it for 14 days.
Right.
7 days for the algorithm, 7 days to get something.
Right.
So depending on the size of your audience that you're targeting, or the market,
yes,
you would want to do at least $10.
$10.
So you're looking at say $150.
Okay.
Okay. To really get somewhere, and that's
$10 a day.
$10 a day.
Yep.
For the 2 weeks.
The
so
2 weeks,
that's
right?
like
$150.
Yeah.
$140.
So that's really,
okay.
If you're going to start, that's the minimum I would recommend.
Okay.
So that you get some out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to remember too that you're just starting, and you got to play with the copy, and you got to play with the ads. And so AI is a great help with that. If you're not using AI, you really need to be.
Right.
Because it's a wonderful tool.
Right.
It'll map out everything for you.
Yeah, great. So we talked about at the beginning of getting through the mud, right? How do we get our content through the mud nowadays? I mean...
Okay, so everybody's going to tell you have to have really great, compelling content. Do you have a clue what that is?
No.
Exactly.
Right.
So they can tell you that, but if they don't tell you what that is,
right.
Now that varies from
person to person.
Your compelling, great content is different than mine, because it's based on how your audience reacts to it.
Right.
So this is where you have to kind of play around. So I've been seeing a lot of ads lately, because I'm a small business owner.
Yes.
You get all these ads geared to small business owners.
Right.
And they all start out pretty much the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Are you frustrated? Are you a small business owner who wants? I start to see those things, and guess what I do?
Keep scrolling.
Exactly. Because
just keep scrolling.
Because it's just so cookie cutter.
Yes.
Because they've obviously taken a class that told them to do that.
Yes.
Do you start out with a question? Yes, you can.
You can.
You can start out gearing it towards your audience, but can you make it a little more personable?
Right.
Because that's really what all this is about, is building trust and word of mouth online.
Absolutely. Right.
And so, are you going to trust somebody that goes, "Are you a small business owner?"
Right.
You know, it's like...
Yeah, there's a lot of classes out there, courses that teach that.
Yeah.
And it's just become, I've seen it in the coaching world. It has just become, like, absolutely absurd. And I just think, it's, get to $100,000 in sales by the time you're done with this course.
My favorite is grow your business without having to use Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And guess what they're doing?
They're using Facebook ads. They're using Facebook ads. And how do you get to $100,000 in business? You use Facebook ads. You have an audience size of 100,000 people on your list, right? You don't have a couple hundred people on your list and make $100,000 in revenue.
Right.
You just don't. You don't. These people, they have been at it for years. Yes, they may have the magic touch, the magic trick, but in my experience, they could teach you the skill all day long, and you're still not going to get to 100,000 in revenue as quickly as they promise or say or disclose, because you do not have the email list, the size of the email list to reach. You don't have the audience. These people have the audience.
Yep.
10, 15 years of doing this, right? I'm not saying they don't know what they're talking about. They absolutely do know what they're talking about, but they're giving you false hope and saying, if I spend $5,000 on this course with you, I'm going to then get $100,000 in revenue. I'm not knocking them. Please understand that. I signed up for that, right? And I learned a lot from that woman. But I also take a step back and say, wait a minute. I don't have the audience size that she does. I'm startup. I'm bootstrapping, right? I don't have the audience size. I don't have the budget to just go out and spend tens of thousands of dollars on advertising to get an email list of 100,000 names. I just don't.
For those that don't know, bootstrapping is you're self-financed.
Right, you're self-financed, right? I don't have any grants, I don't have any loans, I don't have any investors. It's just me, myself, and I. And sometimes Irene.
And I started my business that way, and it's slow. It is slow.
It's slow.
And we get impatient.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's 15 years and I'm still here.
Yes, exactly. You've made it through economic downturn, economic recession, close to a depression in 2008. And
No, I started the business then.
Oh, you started a business then. Well, listen, to start a business in that time of
Yeah,
frame, and
I started my
make it up,
coaching business in 2008.
There you go.
Which
and
led
then
to
go through
doing
the
what I do
pandemic.
now. Exactly. Made it through the pandemic.
Yeah.
3 hurricanes?
Yeah.
3 hurricanes? Yeah.
Right. No, that's great.
3, 4. Irma, Ian, Milton, Helen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even though we weren't personally affected, or my business space was not affected with any
Physical
of them,
space, yeah.
the whole economic of the area was affected.
Right.
Every time there's
Right.
a hurricane.
Right.
Business stops.
We live far enough inland from the
Right.
direct hit, but we're only 10 miles from that. So it did take a huge turn on
Yes.
the economy here in Southwest Florida. But so what other? No, we go to squirrel again.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's all good.
Yes.
So what other? You had also mentioned at the very beginning of our conversation about TikTok and people not telling others where other channels they are on.
Right.
What is the best? I mean, listen, I'm not going to go, if I'm a TikToker and I'm making $100,000 because I'm doing stupid stuff on TikTok, or smart stuff on TikTok and making even more, I'm not going to end every video with, make sure you watch me on Facebook, I'm not going to do that. So how do you tell people on a consistent basis what your other channels are when you have their attention in that one platform?
So yeah, I guess you could put it in the description. I am not a
Okay.
TikToker because my target's not on there.
Right.
And what it takes to be successful on TikTok is a lot of work.
Right.
It's a lot of work. You really have to be quite entertaining.
Yes.
And most, you're an AC company, you are not going to sell your AC services on TikTok.
No.
Not unless
Right.
you are so out of the box and entertaining.
Sure, right.
That even
Right.
then I'm not sure. I would never,
Right. Right.
Social selling on TikTok, to the younger
Mhm.
generation, where they call them Gen Z. And your jewelry, whatever the kids buy these days.
Makeup, whatever they're buying.
Those kind of things I think do really well.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that, you can, of course they're going to go to your website, so you want to make sure on your website you have all your channels listed.
Yes, listed, yeah.
Right. Because I don't think on TikTok they do a direct sell. Here's a
Okay.
link to buy this site.
Right.
I don't know, I'm not there.
I don't have TikTok, so
But I don't think they do it on Reels and Instagram that way, but you can, I think, social
Okay.
sell directly.
Right,
But if not, you want to make sure it's all on your website.
Right.
And you periodically can put it in your description.
sure. Okay. Right.
Or you can actually be really brave and create different content for different channels
Oh, yes.
so that it's not, which, time-wise,
It's
they
the
tend to
same.
put them all the same.
Sure.
However, you're making one video.
Right.
You can schedule them out
Right.
So you can have a go on TikTok this week and maybe Reels the next week or vice versa.
Right.
So it's spread out a little bit.
Right.
So that they think they're getting a little bit different content in case they miss something somewhere.
Right.
You know, so you can kind of mix it up.
Right. Okay.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do Reels
Yeah.
that much
Right.
because it's not effective for.
And when you say Reels, what the heck is that?
Okay, it's called short form content. Is what it's called.
Okay.
Short form content. So Reels are a little video under 1 minute.
Okay. And that's on Facebook and Instagram,
Yes,
correct? Because
right.
they're
So
also
the Reels
tied.
there, then TikTok, I guess they call them TikToks, and then they're called Shorts on YouTube.
Okay.
And I heard YouTube has increased the short time to 3 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. My one client that does shorts tried it, and it just made it as a regular video, but that was maybe a month ago.
Okay.
So I think they're more or less rolling it out.
Okay.
So their
Right.
shorts will be 3 minutes.
Right.
The
Okay.
problem with shorts is you can't embed them in, through on your website through those links
Right.
to upload in there.
Right.
So at least not yet anyway.
Okay.
So, but the longer videos,
Right. Okay.
you want to have the videos you do on your website.
Right.
It's just keep it all the same. Keep it all the same. Like mine's What's Up SWFL everywhere.
Right.
Because then it's just easier to say go just look
Yeah.
for What's Up SWFL.
Got it. So we were talking about getting through the mud and getting our content
Back to
through
the
mud,
compelling
right?
content.
Right, compelling content,
Yeah.
which of course is always in the eye of the beholder,
Yes.
right? As everything else that we do is always in the eye of the beholder. So in addition to, either boosts or paid ads, is there any other strategies that we should
Actually,
consider?
there is, and I'm glad you brought this up because
good.
this is a pet peeve of mine.
Okay.
Because I run a Facebook group. I'm gonna give it a plug if you're local. SWFL happenings.
Okay.
84,000+ people in this.
Great.
And so I approve a lot of the posts that come in. So I see the content that these businesses are doing. And what they do is they'll take their reel and they just share it. Don't say anything.
Right.
They'll take a post off their business page and just share it. They have this assumption that everybody knows who and what they are,
Right.
which is not the case.
Right.
So doing that is tantamount to being at a networking event, handing your business card and flyer, and walking away and not saying anything. Okay?
Right.
We all know that doesn't work.
That does not work.
But somebody told them share into Facebook groups.
Yes.
Okay, but you gotta talk.
You gotta talk.
And you gotta talk to people like they're people.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And so you gotta find your business voice to do that. And you
Right.
wanna do it in a non-selling way.
Right.
That encourages them to come to your event. So the idea of content anywhere is just to get them from what they're seeing to the next step.
Yes.
Through building trust in a relationship with them.
Mhm.
So you got to assume every time you put a post out that nobody knows what you're doing. Like,
Right.
I do one for the restaurant,
Yep.
and I see this in my group all the time because people are not going to click on the business page
No.
to find out where your restaurant is.
No.
They're not going to click on there to
Right.
find out where your event is. Do you know how many events I see that the address is so small?
Yes.
Because
Or not
I go-
listed at all.
Because I have to make sure it's Southwest Florida, so
Yes.
I have to look for this.
Yes.
Well, you're making it really hard, and to be honest, if I can't see it,
Right.
I have to turn it down because I
Exactly.
do not have the time to
Exactly.
go hunt and peck and look for you.
Right.
So if I don't have the time to do that,
Right.
why are you doing that for somebody else?
Right.
So if you're going to use Facebook groups,
Mm-hmm.
remember these people, no matter how many times you post it in that group, do not know.
Right.
You're always going to reach people that do not know.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So there was a post the other day. There's a new restaurant coming into Bonita called the Sugar Shack.
Okay.
Somebody thought that was strippers. I don't know why.
Oh, I don't know.
Why they would think that if they read what the person wrote, you would see it's
I guess
not.
it could be.
However, Bonita is all excited about this.
Okay.
They wrote a very nice post about it,
Uh-huh.
explaining what everything was and
Right.
what their concept was, and that got, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 people
Wow.
seeing it,
Wow, that's pretty good.
plus all these comments,
Right.
because
Right.
people started tagging people.
Tagging in it, right.
Because they're
Check
all
this out,
excited
check
that
this
it's
out.
going to be a local venue with
Right.
music.
Nice.
You never know what people are going to get excited about.
Exactly.
Another guy put a post out about some boat charters he was doing, and it was a limited time, and he sold out. just by putting, but he said something.
Right.
In his
Right.
case, he said some things that people didn't necessarily like, and other people did.
But you're never
But
going
it
to please
doesn't
everybody.
matter. It doesn't matter because he
Right.
got engagement
Right.
and he got people noticing him,
Right.
whether they liked him or not.
Right.
Not his business if they like him or not.
Sure,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Right.
And then he posted, he sold out. What's
Right.
the problem?
What's the
You know?
problem? Right.
So all the other ones that don't say anything
Mm-hmm.
might get a reach of 50,
Right.
60,
Right.
maybe a couple hundred.
Sure.
But they don't know you.
They don't
You're
know
not
you,
building a
right.
relationship. So it's
Right.
important to remember all of this
Mm-hmm.
is building a relationship through building trust.
Right.
You're not going to do business with somebody you know like that you don't know like
That you
a
don't
trust.
know, like a trust, right? Of
You
course.
know?
Of course.
You'll buy a soda from somebody you don't know because it's $3. What the heck?
Right.
You're
Right.
not going to buy something for $3,000.
No, if I don't.
You're not
know
going to
that.
call somebody to fix your plumbing.
Right.
You know what I mean? That you
Yeah.
don't have some sort of relationship where somebody else does.
Right. Right.
So that's the whole point of all this.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else thinks it's selling,
Selling. Yeah.
and it's not selling.
It's not selling.
It's not
It's
selling.
not selling. You have to have conversations.
Yes.
You should never sell a day in your life. Never sell
No.
a thing in a day in your life because it's all about conversations and relationships.
Exactly. And
That's
you can build a relationship with somebody, and they're not ready at that
Right.
point in time.
Right.
Happened to me recently.
Uh-huh.
6 months later, they're ready.
They're ready.
But you built a relationship
Right.
with
You
them.
didn't leave
built
them
that
at the
trust.
door when they said no, or they said, oh, I don't know yet, or they disappear.
I just tell them
They
when
come
I'm
back.
ready, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Exactly. Exactly. So there's a strategy that I've seen a lot lately where people say, download my free whatever, right? The link is in my bio.
That's an Instagram thing.
I've seen that. I guess it's on Instagram. I've seen it on Facebook, so maybe it's coming through Instagram from Facebook. But I have to be honest with you. I'm not going to click on your bio to get your free download. If you're not, just like you had said, if you are not providing me the information I need to know right now, right, I ain't doing it.
So I have to do the same thing with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
When they're on Instagram, I tell them link is in the profile. Because you cannot put links in Instagram
Okay.
unless you're running ads.
Unless you're running ads. So it's an Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Good to know, because I was getting annoyed with this one person.
Yes, they are. They don't get annoyed. They have no choice. And they are talking about changing some of that.
Yeah.
I
I caught it, everybody.
You know what it says? I'm gonna go squirrel. Okay, but first coffee.
First coffee.
So there is talk about changing that. Stories on Facebook will now let you put a link.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay.
So stories is another good avenue. That's even, they're real short
Yeah.
kind of thing. Sometimes I use stories, sometimes I don't. But it's good to have the link there.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of thing. Instagram just changed, or didn't just change, but they rolled it out. Their graphic now is no longer square; it's 4x5.
Oh, yes. I saw that on your post. You
Yes.
posted that.
Yes, I did.
was like, oh, I did not know that. Because I don't really do Instagram either. I just, whatever I post on Facebook, just go whoop, right to Instagram.
Yeah. Well, you can. Okay, so you can schedule on Facebook.
Yeah.
And so if you're the business owner who's really busy,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually separate the two,
Yes.
and you should. And you should. Sometimes I have to do them separately because when they want to crop the pictures, it doesn't
Oh,
work
okay.
for what I want it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have to use different pictures for.
Mhm.
But I try to use the same.
Right.
But you can do them separately.
Okay.
Same copy. You can add the hashtags just for Instagram,
Mhm.
so they're not on your Facebook because they really don't work on Facebook
Okay.
at all.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of hashtags just kind of like go away.
Yeah, and the
On
ones
all
that I see,
platforms.
the Instagram still works.
Mhm.
Twitter, it still works.
Mhm.
Not sure about LinkedIn.
Okay.
LinkedIn is its own little world.
Right.
Still trying to figure out. They're still trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
It's changed over the years.
Changed a lot. Yes. Yeah. So this has been great. Is there any other last things that you want to share with us, like how to get through the mud, or, do you see anything changing in social media world out there? I mean, the big thing that I want to make sure that we get across is you have to be prepared for changes at any given moment, right? You have to be prepared for the storms. And down in Florida, we are always prepared for the storms.
Right.
we're lucky enough to get, a 2-week notice of anxiety when that happens. And no bread, no water, no toilet paper for 2 weeks, no gas for 2 weeks. But it's still, we have our own kit, right? We have our kit. So as a business owner, you have to have your kit. You have to have your hurricane preparedness kit. So you have to build these strategies now, implement these strategies now, so that if and when something should change within what you don't own in social media, you are fully prepared and have already been using what you do own, which is your website content and your email list and your emails and those contacts. Because if you don't have any contacts, you're not in business. You're not in business. You might be, but if you don't retain the contacts, you don't have any future business. You're in business today, but not tomorrow. So anything else that you want to add?
Yeah,
to
actually there is. Now that you're talking,
Yeah.
One of the big keys is making everything what they call customer centric.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's not about you.
Never.
Okay, it's not about you. It's not about you. Not about you. It's not me. It's not her.
Definitely not about me.
No, it's about who your customer and potential customers are. It's about them.
Yeah.
Giving them what they want. So when you write your copy, you need to make it about them, not about you. And that's your website copy and everything. So many people are like, I. I've been in business 15 years. So what?
Right, so what?
What does that do for me?
Right.
And I know that sounds selfish, but what is it going to do for you?
Yeah. Right.
We all do things because on some level,
yeah,
it makes us feel better.
Of course it does.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
Your plumbing breaks, you get a plumber, you got the stress gone.
Right.
Everything we do is about making ourselves feeling better. And that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a selfish thing. That's
selfish.
just the way the world is.
Right.
Which is kind of cool because to me, it's about having fun. Because fun
about
makes you
having
feel
fun.
good.
That's right.
Like we're having fun.
We're having fun.
Yes. So really making it about the customer.
Right.
And what you can do to help them as to whatever their particular pain point might be. That's the key to content.
Yeah. Very good.
And it goes from there.
So talk to us about your business. Give us some snippets of what you do and how people can get in touch with you.
Okie dokie. So I actually own what's called What's Up SWFL, which stands for What's Up Southwest Florida. So that's the part of the business where we do websites and social media marketing, the SEO, the email marketing. We will manage all that for you. We're a little different because we will sit down and map out your strategy. And we will work with you just where you are now and then kind of help you move forward.
Right.
Doing all those kind of things.
Okay.
So then the other side of the business is the Teach Me Social.
Okay.
And the Teach Me Social side is for those businesses that are starting or they've been in a couple of years but they're not ready to turn it over to somebody, but they really need to learn how to use social media and how to market their business.
Yeah.
So then I coach and I teach that. So the difference is the teaching is I show you how to place a Facebook ad. The coaching, that Facebook ad program, becomes part of a bigger picture. And so we work on your strategy and I train you.
Yep.
And then coach you on the implementation and keep an eye on what you're doing and tweaking it as you go along so that as you reach each new step, you've got somebody telling you what's next.
Oh, wow.
Because, you have goals, right?
Yes, I have goals.
But you're here and your big goal is way over there. You have no idea how to go.
Right.
So this is what happens with coaching, and you can talk about it. So I'll tell you what the next step is, right?
Right.
And so then they want to stop because it's like, because they didn't reach their big goal.
Right.
And it's like, I can't take you to the next step till you at least do this one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There are steps to the ladder. You don't get from the lawn to the roof in one step because you are not Spider-Man or Superman.
So my advice is if you're a small business owner and you're not sure what to do, always educate yourself.
Yes.
And if you do work with a coach, listen to them. Doesn't matter if it's me, you, or anybody else.
Right.
Listen to them and go step by step.
Yes.
And don't get ahead of yourself.
Right.
Don't learn how to do a membership program if you don't have an email list.
Right, exactly.
Learn how to build that email list.
Right.
Learn how to put that you got to have that foundation first.
You have to have the foundation.
So take those classes when you're close to being there.
Yes.
And then you'll be ready to implement what they teach you. Otherwise, you've learned all this, and you can't implement any of it because you haven't done the foundation.
Right.
Which is, I think, what you found out.
Yes.
I need the foundation. You'll still know all that when you get there.
Right.
But what you really needed is how to get there.
Right. How do you get there?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not what they taught.
Right. Right. Yeah, if you're not working with a coach, you should be working with a coach, whether it's a marketing coach or a business coach or a sales coach. Listen, coaching is so important. There are very affordable avenues for coaching and free avenues for coaching as well. And I'm telling you, listen, every major athlete in every professional sport, every high school sport, little school sport, any school sport, every athlete has a coach, and that's working with them. And I'm not talking about the team coach, right, that tells them the plays. I'm talking with, they have a personal trainer for conditioning or what have you, right? They have their people. That's how they get from point A to point B and keep moving up the ladder into the professional positions that they want. CEOs have coaches. Are you telling me that
Steve Jobs
didn't have
did.
a coach? Of course he had a coach. He went from his garage to a multi-million-dollar mansion. I mean, of course he had a coach. These major players in any organization, any vocation, anything that they're doing, they have coaches. They may not be called a coach, but they're coaches. And so even the itty bitty business owner, you need a coach because you have a ton of ideas floating in your head and you need help getting them out and gaining clarity. And that's where I come into play. That's where Marianne comes into play. And I hope that you take advantage of contacting us one day, like tomorrow, and just learning about our services and learning about how can we help you.
Exactly.
What do you need help with? I bet you that I can help you or Marianne, and if we can't, I can tell you where to go. If you can't afford my services, and all my services are not expensive, by the sense I don't charge thousands, and I barely charge $100. So, because my passion is helping women in business grow profitable businesses that they love. Okay, that is my passion. But if you need assistance, there are free resources that are funded by the federal government that can get you. There's the SBDC that they can help you with. I know people there. I can refer you. So don't ever be afraid for asking for a coach or a help or a question. Always reach out to me. You can reach out to Marianne, and all of our contact information is going to be in the show notes. Any last parting words?
So if you're local, the micro enterprise.
Yes.
There's a program, the micro enterprise, done by Goodwill.
Yes.
That's a 6-week program.
It's a 6-week program.
And it mentors and coaches people on how to do a business feasibility plan so they can implement and start their business. It's a wonderful little program. And we say that because we're both coaches.
We're both coaches there.
You're local.
But it's a great program. So yes. The micro
I'm
enterprise.
sure other communities have them.
Oh, yes.
So look for them.
They are. Their micro enterprise is course is put on by a lot of different companies. And in Southwest Florida, it just happens to be put on and sponsored by Goodwill of Southwest Florida. But not all Goodwills have it, and not all micro enterprises are sponsored by Goodwill. So that's...
You would know more. You've been in...
Yeah, that's something to be important. But here locally, listen, it's $80. And if you need a scholarship to go there, they will offer you a scholarship. And it's, like I said, like Marianne said, it's 6 weeks, 2 nights a week, Mondays and Thursday nights. We put you through a feasibility plan, whether you are thinking about being in business or already are in business at any stage, and you just need some help. We also bring in speakers, right, who are an attorney, a CPA, all sorts of people that you need to know that are willing to work with you and help you in, and bankers and marketing people and whatever. We bring them all in. So it's a great program for anybody who's looking to start a business or looking to get help in a business at a very reasonable cost. But and we'll put that information in the show notes too. But listen, I want to thank you so very much.
Oh, you're welcome. We need to do these more often.
We do. Thank you so much for opening up your office to me, and it's nice to get out of the house and be on location versus on a Zoom call, and that's always fun too. But listen, MCipressy of What's Up Southwest Florida, giving you a voice in Southwest Florida and beyond. I coached her on the last part.
She knows my tag.
So anyway, I am Toby Ferrel, CEO of Toby Ferrel and Associates, your host of this podcast, Open for Business. And thank you so very much.
Thank you, Toby.
Thank you.
And bye, everybody. Bye.
And that's a wrap for another episode of Open for Business CEO Style. We hope you've been inspired, motivated, and ready to conquer the business world. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity, and every dream is a business waiting to happen. If you love this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode packed with business brilliance. And while you're at it, give us a like, a share, and leave a comment. Your support means the world to me. Join my community of CEOs on Facebook and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep hustling, keep shining, and remember, you got this, girlfriend.